Mama said, "You'll be home in 3 weeks."
I felt like I was leaving the world. I mean, leaving home is a big experience for anybody.
It was so different.
I got homesick right away because I missed my family, but I thought, I have to stick this out and see if this is real.
I'm very happy. I've never been sorry that I entered the Sisters of St. Joseph.
I'm 69 years old.
79 years old.
I'm 80.
I was born in 1935.
And I'm 81 years old.
84.
86.
86.
86 years old.
90.
94.
Next month I will be 103.
I'm 87 and a half, and I have been a Sister of St. Joseph for 67 and a half years.
I think I still have gas in my tank, and I think others do too. And I don't think it's a matter of age. I think it's a matter of, what else do you want to give? And because there's always something to give.
I knew nothing about God or priests or nuns, none of that.
We went to church.
They were religious. I mean, we went to church on Sunday.
My mom was very religious. She always said to me, I wanted to be a sister. So she really encouraged me.
If my mother and dad had had their way, we probably all would have been nuns.
By the end of my senior year, I felt a little stronger calling. And I presented the situation to my parents. And as it happened, my father was not in agreement. He had said, when you're 21, you can do whatever you want. So I waited until I was 21 and did what I wanted to do.
Like my father thought that I was losing my mind, wanting to be a nun. He said, what do you want to throw your life away for when you could be making so much money?
My mother did not approve at all. She tried every way. She said, I'll buy you a car. I mean, she offered all these things if I would just please go to college. And I said, but I can go to college. So I dragged her up to see the provincial. And I got the provincial to promise her that I would go to college and I would be a teacher.
Only reason why I wanted to let me go is that she thought if God wanted me, she didn't want to be on the bad side of God.
My dad has a brother who's a priest. He had a cousin who's a priest. His sister was a nun. So they were okay with it, which was helpful to me.
I was senior class president, I had the lead in the senior play, and I was going with a boy for a year. And he's always saying, let's get married, let's get married. No, I can't. I thought too much about being a nun. I've got to try it first to see if that's what God wants.
I realized when my boyfriend said, my girl, my chica, I had a kind of negative response, whereas many of my girlfriends thought that was the most wonderful thing in the world, to be somebody's girl. I felt like a possession, and I didn't want to be possessed. I wanted to be free.
I knew without a doubt that God wanted me to be a sister. And I knew I didn't want to be a sister. So when I realized that, I went over to the church, cried and said, God, I don't want to do this. He had other ideas.
I loved my parents and I loved my family, but there was something stronger.
I wanted to do something, to be something,
So I entered in 1952.
September 15th, 1955, at the age of 18.
The Sisters of St. Joseph of Carondelet is the community I entered.
Other congregations seemed more severe and more strict and more structured and not very human, and it didn't seem like it was fun to be a nun.
I remember that they were very friendly. They smiled a lot.
I always saw that they were having such a good time. They enjoyed each other's company and they seemed to be happy with each other.
They seemed like happy people. And you know how happiness is contagious.
I want to be a Sister of St. Joseph really because of their joy and happiness, but also their friendliness to each other. It was very edifying to see how kind and caring they were of each other.
They knew how to live right. They were just delightful people to be with all the time, not just sometimes.
We really wanted to be closer to God.
Our charism is unity of neighbor with neighbor and neighbor with God. We are contemplatives in action.
The greatest joy is to be a member of this great group of women.
I felt like this. I thought sisters have the capacity to bring joy to people like nobody else.
I wanted to share Pedro Rupe's final reflection because I think it says to what I really believe about the charism, about the CSJs, about life. Nothing is more practical than finding God, that is, falling in love in a quite absolute and final way. What you are in love with, what seizes your imagination, will affect everything. I will decide what will get me out of bed in the morning, what you do with your evenings, how you spend your weekends, what you read, who you know, what breaks your heart, and what amazes you with joy and gratitude. So I close with saying, fall in love, stay in love, and it will decide everything.